So, yet another doctor telling us that calories don't matter. I can't believe they're saying this because they used to say that calories do matter. So anyway, this is the video. My name is Ryan. This is High Carb Regenerator. Welcome to my channel. So let's talk about this. I want to hop into the computer. I'm kind of going to do a reaction video to the video that I found about this, and let's get started. All right, here we are. I know I keep doing this. I keep watching this guy's stuff, but it just keeps popping up, probably because I just keep watching it. His channel is what I'd like my channel to be if I could get better at reaching out to people to do interviews. I don't know why I'm so inept at doing it. Anyway, let's get started. I'm going to roll this. Like always, he's got music in the beginning. All right, I'm going to roll this. Like always, he's got music in the beginning, so I'm just going to play something over it just to see what this guy has to say a little bit. I'll flip through the chapters. We'll see, a couple things here and there. I'll make a reaction video of it, and that'll be it. So let's get, I'm just going to let this play. Did that guy just say ketogenic again? I hope not. I hope I just read that wrong. That would be terrible news.
What is the microbiome?
It's the word we use for community
microbiome. I talked about this with John Kohler when I interviewed him last July. I think it was last July. Maybe it was, I don't know, it was last year at some point. And he's very interested in it. I've been interested in it. And somebody sent me the book. I forget what the hell the name of that book was already. And of course, the name of the book is Fiber Fueled. I had to look it up. I had to pop in here with that. Sorry about forgetting the name. I always forget the name of that book. Anyway, here's the video again. But it was talking about the microbiome as well.
Microbes, these are microscopic bugs in our intestines. And it's a biome because it's like this jungle community. Is
he English? Can we really trust English? I don't know if we can. I mean, look at how many countries they've invaded and everything. I mean, can they be trusted? I don't know. I don't know about that. And that accent.
Lots of different species altogether, thousands of them.
It's like blow your nose and just get a real accent. Come on. Just kidding. But not really. I'm Irish. Forgive me.
That coexist in our lower intestine, our colon. And it's like we've discovered in the last 10 years a new organ in our bodies. If you put them all together, they weigh about the same as our brain. Okay, so that's mind-boggling, really, to think about all these bugs.
That brain-mind connection, whatever you want to call it, mind-brain, no, mind-gut connection, can I be trusted? Can't even get my words out. Is there in that vagus nerve connection as well.
Bugs, which individually are tiny, putting them together, they actually they weigh several pounds. So you can either think of them as a microbial garden, but increasingly I'm shifting that towards thinking of them as an incredible pharmacy. So all of them are able to pump out chemicals.
Makes sense.
All the time that are vital for our body. So thousands of different chemicals are pumped out every minute by these gut microbes when they're fed the right foods. And these chemicals are key for our immune system. Most of our immune system is actually in our gut.
And ironically, the majority of your immune system runs off carbohydrates, not fat.
Most people don't know that. We think it's, under our armpits or somewhere. But actually, all the immune cells are actually talking all the time to our gut
It's interesting that he
microbes through
mentioned
these chemicals.
you gonna work. It's interesting that he mentioned the armpit, because if your left armpit has an odor to it, your gut is backed up like 100%. Majority of the flow of your lymphatic system comes through the left side of your body. There is some on the left side of the body, but the majority of it comes through and down. So that's a good marker.
And our immune system obviously is crucial for our whole body, and fighting aging and cancer, COVID, infections, allergies.
Had to mention that word, man.
These kind of things. So then you've also got the microbes can produce chemicals that affect the brain and will make the difference between you being happy or sad, or we know that they're vital in depression. Important for regulating how much you eat, your appetite, when you feel full. They also provide key vitamins for you, all the
I thought it was vitamins.
B vitamins and many other components, neurochemicals like serotonin, that's key for the happiness, and how antidepressants work, are all produced by your gut microbes. So we're slowly learning that these guys are absolutely crucial to how our body responds to anything coming into it, whether it's painkillers, whether it's antidepressants, whether it's chemicals in the form of food. And this is why, I want people to think about food very differently than we have done in the past.
All right, so one thing that I wanted to talk about was a Instagram post that I saw the other day. I normally put them in my stories now, but I didn't put this one in my stories. But it was an interesting, not that I'm like talking about like becoming, like not plant-based or whatever, but it's interesting that McDonald's and I think Burger King or a couple others, whatever, used to use like lard or whatever animal fat to actually fry the potatoes in to make fries out of. And there was significantly less fat people from this, and I find it very interesting. The only reason I find this interesting is because back in the day, all of the potato studies that have ever been done with eating potatoes only, whether that was in Denmark or Netherlands back in World War I. There was one prior to that in like 1854 or something like that. I think in actually Ireland. It might have been here. It might have been here, but it was run by Irish. There was another one done in 1925, I believe, which would have been after World War, or I think it was after World War I, where they tested Olympic athletes, and it was only 2 of them, but they also had potatoes and fat. And then there's been ones after that, but every single one of these, every single one, has been tested with a fairly large amount of fat, mind you, and potatoes. Like, for example, the one that I know the most is the Kahn study, and they were given fried potatoes, and they actually got tired of fried potatoes, so they actually started eating mashed potatoes with a little bit of butter on it. But the butter and everything added up to like almost 2,000 calories a day extra. And these people were losing weight to the point where they actually had to start adding in more fat because they couldn't keep enough weight on. But one of the things is none of the people that on his diets ever wanted to come off them. They were perfectly fine with them, but they were losing weight like crazy. All of their numbers were coming back to normal, especially the ones in Denmark with Himity, I believe his name was. It was a doctor. They thought it was the war causing all this, the heart attacks, the stress related illnesses, the cancers of the world and all this kind of stuff. I've done quite a few videos about this, but Nathan Pritikin's actually the one that kind of caught this and kind of ran with it and actually created the Pritikin diet based around this. But he was also anti-fat too, and it doesn't make any sense to me because the Russian study, which was a lot of people, the Soviet study, which was a lot of people, the Kahn study, which was only 2 people, the one in 19 or 18, whatever, I don't know how many people that was, but either way, all of these studies were done with potatoes, unlimited amount. There was no calorie counting, and fat. And it was very effective. So it's very confusing to me why it was so effective when all these other doctors are telling you to stay low fat. Anyways, there's something that's interested me. But here's the video again.
The old idea that food is just calories, macros.
Actually, speaking of food in a different way, I saw this really weird, not weird. Was it weird? It wasn't really weird thing on Instagram that I wanted to talk about, and I kind of made a short little video about that.
With its fats and
All right, we're back.
carbs and proteins. Those four things, that's 100 years old mentality. But key to it is this core of our gut health, which we've ignored totally. And this was this big aha moment for me after researching for 10 years. Why would identical twins be different? What could it be? And it turns out their gut microbes are different. That's the only thing
It's like that turd plant. Like they take one out of a skinny person and they put it in a fat person, and the fat person gets skinny, and then they take one out of a fat person, put it in a skinny person, and the skinny person gets fat.
ever found in 30 years that's really different about identical twins. And that explains why one gets cancer, the other one doesn't, why one gets an autoimmune disease, or one's depressed and one's happy. So for me, that the twins were a perfect, obvious way to show that how important these microbes are for all of us.
What are some of the biggest myths you encountered as you started researching the microbiome that most people currently believe, that I probably sat here now believe about how to keep my my gut healthy? What are some of those key myths? Because I know you like myth busting.
Well, I think most people believe that probiotics in yogurt get killed by your stomach acid.
That's another thing that Ray Pete used to talk about. I did a video about him, and he said that if your small intestine isn't doing very well, that you are going to not do well with probiotics because it'll get caught in there, and I don't know. You'd have to watch the video.
So they don't work because everything gets killed off. That's a common one I hear.
But they don't.
No, some get killed, but you're ingesting billions, so always enough get through to have an effect. And we know that probiotics do work, although the best probiotics are in food rather than in capsules. And there's plenty.
I've actually never had very good luck with them. That's why I found that Ray Pete interesting. Never, I mean, every time I eat them or ingest them or whatever, it causes heartburn.
You have fermented foods, which is the same. I think most people know very little about microbes. They think that most of them are harmful. So, they cultured this microbe, or they found a parasite. 50,000 people we've now looked at their gut microbes in the US and the UK. In the UK, 24% have a parasite. And that
Parasites are really common, and that's why raw vegan's really good. That's why juicing can help. That's why things like, well, actually in UK, I don't think you can get wormwood. But things like wormwood can help quite a bit.
Parasite is actually beneficial. It's called blastocystis, and it's associated with good health, being thinner, having less internal fat, lower blood pressure. And, in the past, we're trying to kill it off. And actually, the reason we're in this state is we've killed off a lot of our good bugs. So
that's why I don't clean my potatoes
to realize
and stuff like that.
Like most
we're supposed
bugs
to. We are built to have this kind of stuff. We are built to. That's why there's in breast milk, no matter what animal it is, that's why there's like pus and everything to build the immune system of the infant. And then we hygiene like crazy, and everybody gets sick.
In our system are trying to help us, and we've actually
now if you get sick eating something that like was on vomit floor or something like that, and don't blame me for that, but like within reason,
lost half of the good ones compared to if you go to hunter-gatherers, or I spent some time with the Hadza tribe in Africa, and they have twice the number of species that we have because they don't pop antibiotics. They don't have sterile foods. They have a very wide range of diverse plants, etc. So I think people think that their gut microbes are really only there to hurt them when they have a bad kebab or something.
I mean, that's because that's what they've been told it, and they believed it. That's the key, though. You have to believe it. A lie, somebody lying to you is only effective if you believe the lie. Now, what else do you have to go on? I don't know, but matter.
They don't think of all the positive benefits. They don't think that you need to build them up, and that actually, they're like the more you've got, the better it is.
How do I build them up? How do
Legos.
I become more like that tribe?
You have to have
I gotta leave. You gotta leave the tribe, man. You can't be in the tribe.
Or diverse range of plants. So we did a study a few years ago with British and American guts that showed that if you can get up to 30 different types of plant a week, you max.
This isn't the guy that wrote that book, right? Tim Spec, no. That was some Bukowski or something. What's the name of that book? I know everybody knows the name of that book while they're watching this or cursing me for not remembering the name of the book. And of course, the name of the book is Fiber Fueled. I had to look it up. I had to pop in here with that. Sorry about forgetting the name. I always forget the name of that book. Anyway, here's the video again.
Maximize your diversity of species in your gut. And that's that diversity that we want. Remember, 30 plants, you look a bit shocked, but that's a plant is a nut, a seed. It's not just kale. It's a herb.
I would argue that kale is one of the worst things that you can eat. Juicing it, maybe, but there's so many protective agents in a kale that we really don't digest it well. It's really not human food.
It's a spice. And things like coffee are a plant to me. Because it comes from a fermented bean. So is that
I'm going to go to...
You mentioned calories there as well. When you were talking about the microbiome. One of my friends is a prolific calorie counter. And, he eats a lot of Domino's pizzas. He listens to this podcast, so he's going to know exactly. He's going to know that I'm atting him. He eats Domino's pizzas all the time. He eats like a real, processed food diet, but then says to me it's all about calorie counting.
That's what anybody who eats that way is going to try to proclaim.
Now, with all due respect, friend, he's never managed to... I shouldn't say that. But it's not necessarily worked for him in terms of the goal that he set himself. So when I was reading about your view on calorie counting in your book,
it doesn't work. It never works. It works in a short burst of period because you're starving yourself and your body's like, like trying to figure out, and things are happening and the things are dumping out, and it's bad, in long term because your body is like, enough's enough, man. I'm starving. I'm not losing any weight anymore. You need to eat.
Spoon-fed. I screenshotted it this morning and sent it to him. And I said, you are a bullshitter. That's what I said in the message. And we had a good laugh about it this morning. But what is your view on calorie counting and this idea that we can, weight loss or being healthy is just about having a calorie deficit?
It's complete nonsense.
Thank you.
There you go. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. And I'll send you out.
I will clip that and send it to him.
There's never been any long-term study showing that calorie counting is an effective way to lose weight and maintain.
There is an effective study. Actually, if you think about it, look at all the people counting calories. Are they skinny? Most of the time not. Do they get skinny once in a while? Okay, of course. Do they balloon up 50% past where they were before? Yeah. One thing that I want to talk about before I get back to the rest of this video is I wanted to show my before and afters. Here's my before. This is when I was at least 405 pounds. I don't know my top weight that I got to, but the top weight, the top measurement that I had was 405 pounds at my endocrine doctor. And that is the most weight that I know that I got to. I might have gotten more, I don't have any idea. But here's the weight that I was. This was my keto days, calorie counting days, restriction days. This is what it all ended up to be. And here is when I wasn't restricting whatsoever. Now, I will say this. When I wasn't restricting whatsoever, I also really wasn't counting my fat as much as you would think I was. So I was probably having like an avocado almost every day. For whatever at that time, this woman that I was working with was making me a lot of vegan cookies, and Sandy was making a lot of vegan cookies, and I'm not turning down cookies. And I was losing weight like crazy. This is me completely not restricting whatsoever. And this is what I look like. So anyway, I wanted to put that out there because people who are new to my channel are like, well, this guy's fat anyway. He doesn't know what he's talking about, blah, 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 blah. This is actually, you know, some of my history. So here it is. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the video.
Pain weight loss after the first few weeks. So yes, very strict calorie counting. If you deprive yourself for a few weeks, you will lose some weight, but
all that matters. All that matters. Going to wedding in a few weeks. Got to get this weight off. I'm going to starve myself. And then you go to the wedding, you like fork, you know, like just open your mouth and spoon it in and wonder why you gained 15 pounds. I just went on vacation. I was swimming a little bit. You know, I gained 15 pounds. Can't figure it out.
Even if you're successful, your body's...
just must be my metabolism. My genetics. I'm screwed. You know, and then you fork down 13, donuts.
Evolutionary mechanisms will make you hungry and hungrier every week you go by where you're depriving yourself of energy. Your body will go into sort of shutdown mode. Your metabolism slows down, so you're not expending those calories. And inevitably, I'd say more than 95% of people will go back to their baseline, and many go above it. They sort of rebound back if they're doing this style of calorie restriction. Now, calorie counting is a part of that. So people try and say, okay, I'm not going on a dramatic diet, but I'm going to just try and reduce by 10% my calories in the day, which in the old theory was supposed to make you lose weight. Well, it's virtually impossible, even professionals, to count calories. And because they're not very accurate for a start, everything on the packet, you have to weigh everything. And in restaurants now,
I tried to mute the mic. Sorry about that. If I just blew your ear off.
Supposed to have these calorie counts.
The banana got me.
Plus or minus about 30%, because portion size makes such a huge difference to it that and it's been shown in the US to be a worthless exercise anyway. So you can't count them going in. You can't really count your metabolism going out either. We're all incredibly different. You know, your friends.
Like for me, for example, things go in, they turn to gas, they come out as gas, and not much else comes out sometimes. And then if I eat nothing but fruit, they go in and they just come out like they're supposed to. Depends on, I guess, what you can eat.
I've been told 2,500 calories is
potatoes are fine too.
What he's allowed. Well, that's an average, but it doesn't mean it's related to him. My average is much lower when I tested it. So everyone is an individual, and this is another thing we need to move away from this one-size-fits-all guidelines. But I think more importantly is that the whole calorie counting of...
How are they going to sell their books, man? I mean, their books are all about calories. How are they going to sell them?
Consumption means that it doesn't matter what form that calorie...
And their supplements. Let's not forget their supplements.
It has the same effect in your body. Therefore, whether you're cutting out fat calories or carb calories or, low calorie sodas or whatever it is, it's going to be fine. But we now know that's not true.
Interesting. Aspartame, or however you say it, when it mixes in the body, because a lot of these keto people are doing their, diet this, diet Pepsi, diet Coke, diet whatever, Pepsi Max, Coke Max, whatever it is. That chemical actually, when it gets in your system, turns to formaldehyde, which is actually what embalmers use to embalm dead people. Like, think of Egypt. And when you drink this stuff, think of like Egyptian mummy. That's what you're doing.
And there's several science experiments which now absolutely nail that. One was in America, where they gave people identical meals for 2 weeks in a sort of enclosed semi-prison. And one was homemade and one was ultra processed, both identical calories, macros the same. The group with the ultra processed foods overate by about 200 calories every day. They kept coming back to the buffet for more. Okay, so yes, the same calories, but the effect on the body meant they were hungrier.
Why is that?
We don't know for sure. It could be that those chemicals in the ultra-processed foods affect the gut microbes, and they then send signals to the brain saying, eat more. This isn't a natural, this is a really weird chemical.
It could be. But then he said counting calories doesn't matter, and then he's saying that they overate on calories. Very confusing.
It's doing something weird to me. I'm producing something weird in exchange. It could be that they get absorbed much quicker. So you get a big sugar rush, and the nutrients get in to your body in a way faster than they should do in nature. And so your brain doesn't have time to say, I'm full. It normally takes 20 minutes or so to get that fullness. Or
I'm still, I know I talked to people about this in DMs. I'm probably tired of it. I'm still trying to figure out why an all potato diet with fat mixed in is so effective at weight loss. It's kind of like the French fry diet. I don't quite understand it. And if you just saw my interlude there, when I was talking about, back in the day, McDonald's and most fast food restaurants used to use lard or, ghee or whatever to fry their potatoes in. And there was a significantly less obesity with the people to eat this food. What is the difference here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Not that I'm saying that, to not be plant-based anymore.
So it could be the matrix of the food. It could be the chemicals in the food. It could be its effect on the gut microbes. But it also could be things like your sugar spikes. So in the Zoe Predict studies, where basically we've given...
All right, you know what? I think I got enough out of this. I think this is actually finally a legit interview that he did. I don't think I did remember the last one. I always forget. I'll try to remember to link this down below, but it's really not that hard to look up. Dr. Tim Spector, whatever this is called, interview CEO, something like that. Diary of a CEO. It's interesting. I don't want to have like a 3-hour long video. It's coming into a holiday week and a lot of people are on vacation already. But I find this to be a very interesting topic, this whole calorie thing, because anybody who does count calories, it never is effective for a very long period of time unless you are perfectly willing to starve yourself the rest of your life. And I just don't think that the body even allows that. So it might cause a fatal event, just like most drugs these days that the doctors are giving you. So anyways, that's the end of the video, and let's send it out. All right, so that's the video. Hopefully you liked it. I'm definitely going to try to remember to link this down below so you can go watch the rest of it. It looks like he talks about keto diet and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully he's not a keto fan. That would kind of disturb me. But anyway, I think this is actually a good topic, this calorie thing, because everybody's so stuck on it. It's ridiculous. If it worked so well, people would actually not be watching my videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Comments, questions down below. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you in the next video.